The thoracic cage is still part of the axial skeleton. So it includes the sternum and the ribs and the way that the ribs connect to the bodies of the thoracic vertebrae. So when we look at the thoracic cage, one of its major functions is that it protects the heart and the lungs. So it includes the ribs, which in some cases are true ribs. We also have false ribs and we have floating ribs, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then we also have cartilage that helps to connect those ribs. So you might have heard of, we might have talked about costal cartilage. So costal refers to ribs. And then we have the sternum, which actually has 3 components. So it has the manubrium, the sternal body, and what we'll call what they call the xiphoid process. Okay, so let's look at an image of this. So here we can see the thoracic cage in blue. We can identify the 3 parts of the sternum, including this upper part, which is called the manubrium. So the manubrium is interesting because it attaches to the clavicle, which is seen here, So we have what is called the sternoclavicular joint. And so the clavicle is part of our pectoral girdle. It is actually not part of the thoracic cage, even though it's shown in here. So then we have these true ribs. Now, the reason why they're called true ribs is that they are directly connected to the sternum. So you can see that even though there is cartilage here, which allows our thoracic cage to be kind of flexible, they have a direct connection to that cartilage. Some of these down here, like 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Some of these are connected via costal cartilage. So they're not directly connected to the sternum. So they're referred to as false ribs. And then there are some ribs, and sometimes you can feel them if you go really low. These are what are referred to as the floating ribs. And so the floating ribs are called floating because they are not connected to the sternum at all. So not even by any cartilage. So they're just kind of hanging out here. They are connected to the thoracic vertebrae. So you can see here the connection between the ribs and the thoracic vertebrae via facet joints. Okay, so let's look at, another image here that shows this thoracic cage from the back. And so again, we see here, this again would be the costal cartilages, this time shown in white. And then this would be the ribs, and you can see how they connect to the transverse processes and then the bodies of the thoracic vertebrae.